Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Tuesday, the 18th day of August, and this is CTV News. Tonight, a maritime town tells a troubled homeless shelter to shut down immediately. Seeking service, one man's campaign for better cell reception in his area. And 400 years of marine history. A traveling exhibit highlights the maritime contributions of African Nova Scotians.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
With breaking news about the dreaded U.S. tariffs. President Donald Trump posting the following on Truth Social just a few moments ago. Quote, I have paused the 50% tariffs against Canada that were scheduled to kick in tomorrow morning for a 3-day period based on the fact that Canada and the USA, subject to the finalization of documents, have a deal, exclamation point. The great Keystone XL pipeline, long ago killed by sleepy Joe Biden, may be awoken from the grave. Thank you for your attention to this matter, signed President Donald J. Trump. Still no word from the Carney government. We'll, of course, keep you updated on this breaking news. Again, a 3-day pause from U.S. President Donald Trump on the dreaded and threatened U.S. tariffs. All right, back here at home, the saga of a controversial homeless shelter in New Glasgow has taken a new turn. Council is demanding the facility shut down operations immediately as problems persist and public anger grows. CTV's Emma Convey has more.
For more than a year, this shelter designed to help the community has instead become a source of division. Now town leaders have had enough.
Basically talked enough. Like we've talked to different people, we've talked to each other, we've researched, we've talked exhaustively about it. And, you know, there comes a time that talking has to stop and action has to happen.
Town council voted to press the province to close the facility known as North Star. It's been blamed for vandalism, crime and fear in New Glasgow since it opened as Viola's Place in 2018.
The current shelter that is in place does not meet their needs adequately, which is why we are seeing an increase in safety issues within our town. And not only that, we have a lot of financial burden.
Dom Peters adds that at last October's public meeting, Police Chief Ryan Leal shared that over $1 million has been spent addressing issues that come from this.
We are seeing an increase in crime, an increase in drug use, open illicit drug use in our streets, and dirty needles in public spaces. And it's very close to a local school, and we have businesses that are leaving our downtown core.
Mayor Dix says the committee they formed in January has exhausted all options. They don't want relocation, they want closure. And eventually, the mayor says, a long-term residential treatment center.
If we can all sit down together and not say that's somebody else's problem or not push it to somebody else, but we work together, it is my hope that something meaningful and important can happen.
For its part, North Star doesn't support the town's motion, telling CTV News in an email late this afternoon, New Glasgow needs to address the problems of homelessness and their accompanying issues in the community first before it closes its only shelter. Emma Convey, CTV News, New Glasgow.
An unusual decision from a local minor baseball association tonight, which says it has suspended 2 teams following unacceptable conduct that goes against the standards it expects from its players, coaches, and others. While not naming the teams or providing details on the incident, the Dartmouth District Minor Baseball Association posted the news on its Facebook page, calling it a difficult decision. The statement says the group, quote, has a responsibility to uphold the standards of conduct expected within our association and to ensure that our ballparks remain safe and respectful environments for everyone. RCMP in New Brunswick say they are continuing to search for an elderly man who's been missing for more than 4 years. Joseph Aldonia Chasson was 73 when he was last seen in Shippagan on August the 10th, 2022. Police say they've followed up a number of leads over the years, but they've been unable to locate him. Chason, described as 5'11", about 150 pounds, with brown eyes, short gray hair, and a mustache and glasses. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. The head of a youth group in Cape Breton is speaking out tonight after a string of vandalism incidents at the facility. The latest happened last night when graffiti was left in the outdoor playground at the Boys and Girls Club in Whitney Pier. The executive director says the young culprits were caught on security cameras climbing on the club's van. Says this summer has been the worst in the 21-year history for this kind of thing. And he's baffled the facility is being targeted by the very people it's supposed to help.
Well, it's kind of disappointing to have to go deal with the negative end of this stuff. As you see here today, see 70-some kids in a building here having fun, doing what this club is meant to do. And it's somewhat sad at times that we have to deal with the negative stuff.
Borden adds there was another incident a few weeks ago when some racist graffiti was found at the club. Cape Breton Regional Police have been notified about this latest incident. This is an unfortunate state of affairs. City of St. John is trying to get a handle on all of the plaques stolen from memorials uptown, including who owns them and how much it'll cost to replace them. A number of plaques have been stolen this summer in King Square, including those honoring Canadian troops in the Second World War and Afghanistan. City Council has directed staff to calculate replacement costs as well as identifying the actual owners.
The question is whether or not, if we own them, we have to get permission from the owner in order to restore the plaques, to their liking. So, for example, if our staff determined that perhaps bronze is not necessarily desirable moving forward because it's, more subject to theft, perhaps we'd like to use a different material.
Several council members have said the goal ought to be to replace the stolen plaques before Remembrance Day.
Get the Maritimes' top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Told you about the 3-day pause for the Trump tariffs at the top of the broadcast tonight. The issue couldn't come at a worse time. Inflation continues to make life around here very expensive. In fact, new data from July shows inflation in our region outpaced most of the rest of the country. CTV's Anna Mandan has more on what's causing the rise and how it's impacting folks.
This Victory Meat and Produce Market in Fredericton has been in business for 85 years, but the growing inflationary costs are taking their toll.
There is a price point that consumers will reach. We know that they're buying less or they're downgrading what they may buy. And at some point in time, if we're not following that very, very closely, we won't be around anymore.
According to Statistics Canada data, New Brunswick's inflation rate rose 0.8 percentage points in July to 4.6%. Nova Scotia hit the highest inflation rate in the country at 5%, up 0.3 percentage points from June, while PEI is sitting at 4%, an increase of 0.2 percentage points. The Von Chair in Regional Economics at the University of New Brunswick says gas prices are a leading factor, along with energy.
Electricity costs are increasing at a pretty big clip and will continue to do so for a few years under the scheduled rates.
He says inflation is hitting people under 35 years old the hardest. Emma Gallagher says she's feeling the rising costs when it comes to meeting her baby's needs while on maternity leave.
To go buy groceries for significantly more than what they used to cost, but I'm making significantly less than what I usually do, is noticeable.
Nationally, every province except Ontario saw an increase, while Emery says the rising rates point to a difficult year to come. Anna Mandan, CTV News, Fredericton.
Nova Scotia Power officials once again facing tough questions today about last year's crippling cyber attack that jeopardized the personal information of nearly 300,000 customers. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more.
The public gained some insight into how Nova Scotia Power became the target and victim of a cyber attack that disrupted the utility's billing system, cutting off access to its own power meters, which meant customers were receiving estimate bills for months. The cyber attack, reported in March 2025, did spark outrage from customers who raised concerns about overbilling. The utility testified that 24,000 customers received credits after being overbilled.
This went on for months. The actual estimates started in June of 25, and I think they really came back to their normal level in April of 26. So that's 10 months. And so they have acknowledged that was too long.
Witnesses from Nova Scotia Power testified that they've updated their systems, which are now cloud-based, and believe if a similar attack occurred, they could resolve the disruption within days, not months. However, new evidence was revealed that Nova Scotia Power had a digital copy of nearly 30 years' worth of customer information still sitting in their system, which was accessed by the cyber criminals. That information was supposed to be wiped from the digital record.
But for an error in the transportation of data within the company, there might not have been anything for this whoever intruded into the system to have access to.
Nova Scotia Power says the system software is designed to clear certain data and wasn't sure how the customer information file was still there. It's one of the many questions the hearing is trying to answer. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
And the woman in charge of NB Power will continue to run the utility for at least the next couple of years. President and CEO Lori Clark has been reappointed for another term, running to March of 28. The Holt government signed off on the extension, which will see her make nearly $624,000 a year. Still, the province has enacted sweeping reforms on the utility. NB Power is under pressure to hold rates steady while facing massive upgrade costs at things like the Mactaquac Dam and Point Lepreau. A surprising switcheroo at City Hall in Sydney today. Cape Breton Regional Council basically reversed an earlier decision concerning a port developer. Back in January, CBRM Council voted to end talks with the Sydney Harbour Investment Partners, known as SHIP, after more than 10 years of what some councillors felt was little progress on port development. Today, though, Councillor Steve Parsons introduced a motion to resume that relationship, and it passed, with Mayor Cecil Clark casting the deciding vote.
I believe it's important to continue on a path when we have known entities that have put forward a very clear plan for our community and have worked within the regulatory framework of the federal and provincial offshore regulator, but also have invested millions of dollars in the process over the last 12, 13 years.
Some who voted against the motion said the city is already considering other companies for the work, but Clark insists that work can still proceed. Okay, still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll head to St. John, where the city market is about to mark a very big milestone. Coming up next, though, seeking service.
Communities from all over the province have been reaching out saying this is a problem here too.
A maritime man launches a cell phone campaign in the name of public safety. That's next. Come on back. A man on Nova Scotia's South Shore has been connecting with his neighbors as he strives to get reliable cell service. The area is prone to dropped calls and dead zones, and in the right conditions, those could put people at risk. CTV's Callum Smith has more.
Out here, Wi-Fi is a lifeline.
It's absurd. Without any Wi-Fi, we have no cell phone service.
A problem known all too well by rural Nova Scotians. That's why Christopher Quigley wanted to hear those stories.
I have started a cellular connectivity initiative that launched a survey and a petition to gather information to either get some level of regulatory pressure or some change to happen.
He moved to the Mahone Bay area 3 years ago, and after witnessing a couple startling experiences.
This past week, a couple of gentlemen lost the front wheel of their truck and couldn't call emergency service.
And a local property owners association meeting last month.
I brought it up saying, hey, you know, this is an issue for me. Does everybody else have the same issue? And every hand went up.
He knew he had to do something, realizing lack of signal is a safety risk. Kellyanne Hamshaw is the director of Harbour House, a women's and children's shelter in Bridgewater. She was quick to pen a letter supporting Quigley's call for change.
I feel that geography should not limit access to essential services. It's also a well-known fact that isolation is a tactic used by abusers.
The province touts its largest ever spend on cell service, aiming to eventually provide 99% coverage, but they need telcos on board.
We are trying to deliver this as quickly as possible, and some of the partners would like us to take more time, but we don't have more time to take.
People can voice their concerns on the Crown Corp's website. As for Quigley's survey results, he'll be sending those to politicians and telecoms companies.
Communities from all over the province have been reaching out saying this is a problem here too.
Hoping to signal that service improvements are needed. Callum Smith, CTV News, near Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Callum. Time for a quick break, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. It's a rainy, drizzly night out there, but there is hope for the future. Kaylin's got details next. Rainy and foggy kind of Tuesday evening around here for a good number of us anyway. Is that it now or a little bit more tomorrow?
We got a little bit that's lingering for tomorrow. It won't be as widespread as it was today, especially for the province of Nova Scotia. Saw the bulk of the wet weather for the Maritimes on Tuesday. A little bit unsettled right now around the Maritime region as we have this weather front moving through and a low pressure system along with it. Needed rain though. It's nice to get some rain in August. Taking a look at our forecast timeline for cloud cover and precipitation for the rest of tonight. The most widespread rain and showers around Prince Edward Island, eastern areas of Nova Scotia, but across the entirety of the Maritimes. There's going to be some fog patches around, and that will linger into the start of the day for tomorrow. So watch for some areas of some reduced or some poor visibility. Now, the fog will be dissipating from the morning into the afternoon. We'll get into a lower chance of showers in the afternoon. The cloud cover will begin to clear and break up for parts of the region, and that includes most of New Brunswick and western areas of Nova Scotia. As the sun shines through, expect a very warm, muggy feel to the air. Late in the day, late afternoon, evening hours, there will be a low chance of a couple pop-up showers and thunderstorms around northern and western areas of New Brunswick. Winds change direction a bit for tomorrow. They'll be out of the west and southwest and sustain 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with a few gusts getting up between 20 and 40. Low temperatures for tonight, much like last night, will be mostly around the mid to high teens for the Maritimes. In a lot of cases, because of the humidity in the air, when you're talking about humidex values feeling into the 20s. High temperatures for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick. Many communities between 23 and 25. A little bit warmer at Miramichi, around 27. 27 for Fredericton for tomorrow. McAdam, St. Stephen, and then 26 for Campobello, St. John, and for Moncton in the southeast. Here's a look at the high temperatures for Prince Edward Island. 24 for O'Leary and Summerside. 23 at Cavendish and Charlottetown, as well as St. Peter's Bay and Montague. And then 22 at Surrey. Cape Breton for tomorrow. Highs of 21 for Sydney, 23 at Bedeck, but close to 25 degrees for Inverness. Same thing goes for New Glasgow and Antigonish. On the eastern shore, 22 for Canso and Ecum-Secum, 23 for Sheet Harbour. 26 for Halifax for tomorrow, 24 for Truro, and 24 for Amherst. In the Annapolis Valley, high temperatures near 26 for Kentville and Middleton, 24 for Digby on the south shore of Nova Scotia, 26 for Liverpool and Shelburne, then cooler for coastal areas in the southwest, including Yarmouth. You're down by the waterfront, high temperature close to 20 degrees. In the extended forecast for New Brunswick, pretty fair weather conditions expected through the end of this week and into the start of the upcoming weekend. Humidity levels as well will be falling through the end of this week, so that muggy feel starting to come out of the air. Showers return to the forecast for New Brunswick and the Maritimes in general on Sunday. It's followed by a chance of showers on Monday and Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud. For Nova Scotia, the forecast tomorrow, we've got isolated showers there. Remember, your highest chance of showers will be in northern and eastern parts of the province. And then conditions clear up to a mix of sun and cloud coming up for Thursday, Friday, and the start of the weekend. Some showers in the forecast for the end of the weekend and the start of next week, and a mix of sun and cloud for Tuesday. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, but a chance of some showers Thursday night, and a mix of sun and cloud for both Friday and Saturday. Showers return at the end of the weekend on Sunday, a chance of showers on Monday, and Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud. Bruce.
Looking good. Thank you, my friend. We'll step aside for just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. There is more to come. St. John City Market is set to hold the first of many celebrations this weekend to mark 150 years since opening its doors. So, just ahead of the party, CTV's Avery McCrae stopped by the country's oldest continuously running farmers market.
As a child, I used to come to the market and I used to do a lot of fishing. So I would bring my fish here and sell my fish to the market.
Today, he is the head cook at Jeremiah's Burger and Fries inside the 150-year-old market, something he never thought would happen.
I've been working as a cook for 30 years, and this has been actually my dream.
On Saturday, he and the rest of the St. John City Market staff will hold the first of multiple celebrations to mark 150 years of operations. It makes it the oldest continuously running farmers market nationwide.
We've been planning this one for a while.
The celebrations will include a street party, multiple stages of live performances, and no shortage of family-friendly activities from 3 to 10 Saturday.
All the locals that are in and out here every day that all have their own stories tied up to the market as well, intergenerational stories that we hear all the time. Very exciting.
Because a trip uptown isn't complete without a stroll through the market, even for locals.
Oh, City Market's awesome, man. It's been here for years. I mean, it changed a lot up here, a lot of construction going on.
That construction of a new seating area, as well as finishing touches on revamped vendor spaces, is expected to be completed by October, the same month the market first opened its doors 150 years ago. Avery McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
Thank you, Avery. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, your first look at a new exhibit honoring African Nova Scotians who helped shape the marine industry around here. First, though, it is your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at Antigonish on this Tuesday evening. 20 degrees and light rain right now. Kaylin's wake-up weather coming up next. Middle of the week now upon us. Let's kick it off with a look at the wake-up weather from Kaylin Mitchell.
Yeah, expecting a foggy start to the day for all three maritime provinces. Fog will clear up in most cases, though, moving into the afternoon. Highest chance of showers start of the day on Wednesday will be around Prince Edward Island, eastern areas of Nova Scotia. And then it's a lower chance of showers in the afternoon. Sun breaks through where it does. Warm, muggy feel to the air. Some high temperatures head up towards the mid-20s. You will have a low chance of a thunderstorm. A couple isolated thunderstorms in northern and western areas of New Brunswick late afternoon and into the first part of Wednesday evening. Bruce.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, a new exhibit is honoring African Nova Scotians who helped shape the province's marine industry. CTV's Vanessa Wright takes us to Lunenburg tonight for our first look.
Far too often, their stories have been left out or haven't been as highlighted to quite the extent that they deserve.
The exhibit is called We and the Sea. You'll find it inside the Fisheries Museum of the Atlantic in the heart of Lunenburg.
What we've tried to do is highlight individuals from many different walks of life,
with illustrations of fishers, sailors, shipbuilders, and those who worked in coastal communities.
Men and boys that worked at sea, women and girls that worked in fish processing facilities, naval heroes, real sort of pioneers in different fields.
The traveling exhibit will make its way around the province. It debuted at the Black Loyalist Heritage Centre in Birchtown, and after it wraps up here in October, we'll head to the Black Cultural Centre in Cherrybrook, a history that many are still uncovering.
Several of my family members also, and still today, are involved in the fishing industry. And it begs to, I guess, differ to say that information was not shared with us, where certain individuals, such as Raymond Farmer, which would be a descendant of mine, owned up to 3 fishing boats in this industry, and that's a big deal.
The comments that we received from our visitors and from community partners and from beyond, really they highlight just how much interest there was in these subjects and just how overdue this exhibit is.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Lunenburg, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Vanessa. That will do it for your late news on this Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Just a reminder, if you joined us late, you'd like another look at anything you've seen tonight, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It is, after all, your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening. I hope to see you again tomorrow.